Hello everybody, welcome to a Sunday stream here on AHGP. My name's Aaron and today we are completing the randomized grid season, which you can see just below my head here. We've got the Las Vegas Grand Prix coming up and the season finale in Abu Dhabi, but we're also going to be discussing some predictions for the 2024 season. If you have a look at the pinned message in the chat, then you can see the topics, categories that we'll be discussing as we go through the stream, which will be hour and a half-ish, sort of a Grand Prix length, perhaps. So, yes, hello to Callum in the chat. First, again, we'll just nickname him Max, seeing as he's always first. And he is saying Red Bull to be the top team, Ricardo and Visa Cash App RB as the most improved team, Verstappen to win in Monaco, Lando the first new winner, Red Bull the Constructors' Champion, and he's got Lewis Hamilton as the Drivers' World Champion. Hello to Pulse Potato. How are you, my friend? How are you, Callum? And yeah, looking forward to the new season, everybody. I think it should be good fun, because it seems, to me at least, that yes, Red Bull have an advantage. Some people fear it could be bigger than last year. I don't think so. I think the other teams have kind of got on top of bits and bobs. Ferrari look quick enough to challenge them if Red Bull have a problem. I think in Bahrain, splitting the Red Bulls is the target for Ferrari and Mercedes. So, and Callum's just made a good point there about Perez letting Red Bull down. That's where the weak link is in Red Bull. It's Sergio Perez. Is he going to be able to recapture that early season form of last year where he was driving so well, but then he just got utterly obliterated on track and in confidence by Verstappen? So it will be interesting to see if he picks himself up and how Red Bull sort of go about that, because if he doesn't, there's going to be a honey badger in that second Red Bull come the second half of the season. Now, talking of the end of a season, let's switch screens and get ourselves ready for a Las Vegas Grand Prix. Here we go then, bouncing back into Ferrari. Fernando Alonso, now a three-time world champion. 42 years old. His stats have been on the wane this season. Here's the championship picture. We've confirmed Ferrari as Constructors' Champions. 15 victories this season we've had, which is just phenomenal. 30 podiums. Red Bull have only had 27. Hello to CC Andreas in the chat. Welcome along. Mercedes, just 5 podiums. Aston Martin, with their driver lineup of Yuki Tsunoda and Logan Sargent, nothing in terms of podiums. Here's the Drivers' Championship. Fernando Alonso, 12 race wins, 6 sprint wins. He's won every single sprint race this season, which is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Lewis Hamilton, 6 Grand Prix wins. That wobbly patch between Austria and up to Zandvoort was kind of the undoing of his season. Esteban Ocon, 3rd for us. He just needs to secure that ahead of Charles Leclerc. That's our aim for today. But really, we're going to be discussing predictions a little bit more. Am I going to stay with Ferrari? No, we're going to switch to a completely different save. We're going to start next week, the weekend of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Sunday evening, we are going to start McLaren with no upgrades until Austria. That's the next sort of live stream save. I'm kind of debating whether to maybe make it a weekly thing. So, as in when I say weekly, but instead of the video uploads during the day with the Mercedes journey and other bits and bobs, on those days maybe just do live streams. It's something that I've been considering. Will I get sacked with the McLaren one? No, I won't. I won't, because I can prevent that. I'll just leave you to interpret that. You're excited for F1 Manager 24 with McLaren. That will be interesting, actually. Picking up a McLaren team that's not at the back of the grid at the start of the save and trying to take them forward from there. I mean, in this save, they have scored 9 points. That's it. I mean, we picked up Oscar Piastri in the Mercedes journey, and he scored 2 points across like 2 seasons. Sergio Perez with all 9 of McLaren's points. Alex Albon has had a disastrous season. Yes, Nick De Vries is in at Red Bull. I think he's their reserve driver. Let me just double check. He is, yeah. Red Bull loved him that much to keep him on. But no, we're not continuing in this universe. We're going to start with McLaren. Yeah, we'll have no upgrades until Austria. So we're going to move ourselves into the Las Vegas Grand Prix. We're going to zoom through practice, swing through qualifying, probably end up somewhere on the front row, hopefully, and then we'll do a motor race and maybe go on for another win. But we need to make sure Esteban gets P3 in the championship, and there is practice. Charles Leclerc on form. He hasn't won a race yet in this season, as far as I know. I think we've won the last like 9 races. It's been ridiculous. So, Pulse Potato and CC Andreas, get your predictions in the chat as well, and we will discuss them. For me, though, the most improved driver team, I'm going to go with Williams as a improved team, because they did really well last season, but I'm expecting them to take another step in terms of consistency and being more of a threat for points at more races. And last year they were fairly niche in what they could do. And I think they're going to see a better Logan Sargent in 2024. That year of experience, these cars are so complicated. It takes time to get to understand them. Charles Leclerc on pole position in Las Vegas. Some things never change. Callum's doing an AlphaTauri F1 manager save. He's got Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda. Ocon's a decent driver actually to have early on, I'd say. Fairly consistent, odd error, but quick enough to get you some points. Let's do a strategy. There we go. Weirdly, around Vegas, there's not many like safety cars and stuff. I think I've played 3 races there and had 1 safety car, which was in a sprint. Mad, absolutely mad. So we'll start on a set of mediums, go to a set of hards, and then hopefully everything will be alright from there. But Leclerc being on pole position isn't helpful for Ocon's chances. Ocon's actually on the front row alongside him, and this is the big battle we're looking out for. You're only in Baku, but you were tempted to sign Alonso. It's possible. You can have Alonso in Season 1 if you spend the big bucks. Right, Las Vegas, what are you saying? We are going to get 5 red lights. The lights are out. The race is on. We're looking straight at Alonso. We don't really want to be. Look at George Russell, P4 in a is still an AlphaTauri. I think there was some grid penalties, and George going around the outside of the new world champion. And I think he's going to move himself into P3. But for Esteban, he is in a decent position. We're not going to spend too much time focusing on this. We're going to have more conversation, I think, today. We'll keep an eye on things that are going on. Alonso, it doesn't really matter how his race pans out. We're just going to keep an eye on Esteban's fortunes. So yeah, I think we're going to see a better Logan Sargent this year. I think we're going to see a Williams package that is more compatible in more places, and then therefore you see the drivers have more confidence. And if Alex Albon can produce a similar season to what he did last year and pick up those points on a more regular basis, he has to be considered for the Mercedes seat, the second Red Bull seat. I mean, heck, even Aston Martin, because they can't, if Lance Stroll doesn't deliver in terms of putting together like a reasonable season that's reasonably competitive, then his seat is going to be under threat from like partners of the team, because it's going to be letting them down. It's going to cost them money. Now here's Esteban. Is he going to go for the lead? He's looking at it, but he's not. We'll just keep him driving in clean air until he does take the lead. He's run out of ERS though, so that wasn't smart.
Okay.
Anyway, so Williams and Logan Sargent is my bet. Callum's gone for Ricciardo, and well, I'm calling them Minardi because nostalgia. So Ben and Andreas, let me know who you think is going to be the surprise driver team combo. It can even be different driver, different team if you want it to be. Yeah, Russell needs to get his mojo back. I mean, his season last year wasn't as bad as it looked on paper. Like, there was opportunities to get big results. He just had a bit of misfortune, like Monaco. Obviously, Singapore was a great opportunity to get another big result. You just have those seasons in sport, as Ocon does now take the lead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Fairly straightforward DRS overtake. Here we go. It looks so much brighter, like compared to what we actually saw in real life, where you could really tell it was nighttime. Here, it kind of just seems like they're indoors, if that makes sense. But lap 6, Esteban now leads the way, but it's going to be just a DRS battle throughout the race, and you can see already they're chopping and changing. I suppose we should probably check in as well, actually, with the championship standings to see what else can be decided. I mean, George Russell's had a great season. Oh, there we go. We have a safety car in Las Vegas. Who has crashed?
Being crashed there. Watch for debris.
Kevin Magnussen has crashed at turn 5. This is allegedly turn 5. What on earth is that? Oh, this could be a red flag. They're stuck. We could have a red flag. We do have a red flag.
Red flag.
They're all just stuck. There we go. Alright, well this throws a spanner in the works. And look at this. Kevin. Oh, Kevin. Honestly. Callum's given us his top 10 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's go through this. Leclerc, Lewis, Verstappen, Russell, Sainz, Perez, Norris, Alonso, Piastri and Ricciardo getting a point for Red Bull 2. I think Max would have to be very unfortunate for that to happen. I think he'd need to have like a puncture really late on and there'd be like a safety car just before it or something. He would need to get really unlucky. I think he'll win the race, to be honest. Right, can we... Let's put on a set of softs on Alonso. And we'll do the same with Esteban. And then we'll go to a set of hards a little bit later in the race. Alright, second time this evening we're going to get 5 red lights. Lights are out, the race is back on. Leclerc's gone to hards already, so he'll surely switch back to a set of softs. Everyone else is on softs except Tsunoda, Hamilton, a load of people in the back. This is great for us because now we can push on.
Doing a good job.
Alonso moves into P2 and we're also going to get him to not fight his teammate, which he's going to hate. The irony of telling Fernando Alonso, don't fight your teammate. We're already almost a second clear of Leclerc, so if we clear out of DRS range, we might be alright. Verstappen's got himself up into P4, but we'll go back to where we were just a minute ago, having a look at the other battles in this randomised grid season. Logan Sargent's now got a great chance to get himself a top 10 championship finish. Lando would need a really good points haul to beat Magnussen. George Russell will finish in the top 10 for AlphaTauri. Hulkenberg versus Stroll. I mean, that's clutching at straws. Let's see, has anyone like surprised us? Let's just make sure we're not killing our tyres too much here. We'll keep pushing with the fuel because we want to pull away. Haas look worrying. I wonder what will happen to them. Well, maybe they'll be sold to a Mr. M. Andretti, partnered with General Motors, because I don't understand the purpose of Gene Haas's team, because there's just I don't see what he's trying to achieve. It doesn't make any sense. But what does make sense is being in the lead and pulling away. We are a little bit quicker than Verstappen. I think he had some DRS on that lap. Let's see what they are this time. 40.2 for us. Yeah, we're a couple of tenths a lap faster. We are pushing on with our fuel as well. So we will box and we will probably undercut those behind us. Well, I say undercut those behind us, but have an opportunity to build a lead. Let's sort the strategy out. So there you go. We could probably even go aggressive on... Yeah, we could go aggressive on the hards to build a gap. There we go. So let's do that for Ocon as well. And remember, we're going to be prioritising Esteban's races today. If he wins this one, I think that's done and dusted for him. He should be absolutely fine. And Leclerc being only third now, fourth, keeps jumping around. That's not ideal for his chances. I'm going to deploy with Ocon and pull away from the pack. Alright, Monaco Grand Prix winner, everybody. Who is winning in Monaco? Does Charles Leclerc finally break the curse as we did in that series I haven't forgotten about? I just haven't got around to recording it, and I haven't worked out quite how to move it forwards yet. But I'm sure I'll get there when I have a little bit more time. Or will it be Max Verstappen? Or will Mercedes spring a surprise? Because they looked reasonably decent in low-speed corners all of a sudden. So maybe Lewis hasn't won there since 2019. When you say lowest there, Callum, do you mean like the weight in terms of their durability? Because yes, make them as light as possible. Leclerc has just put on a bit of speed and is trying to close us down. Ocon is murdering his tyres. That's what's slowing us down. So what I might do... Someone just gone in the pit lane. Oh yeah, Bottas and Russell. So what I'm going to do is get... Ocon was driving in clean air the whole time, so get him to rally defend, because then we have at least got the opportunity to start using DRS to slingshot each other. They don't break as much as you think, and the thing is as well, what you do is you have a part that's light, and then you're developing another one. So once you've got the performance, you just keep manufacturing those ones. And front wings aren't too bad. Rear wings, they're not too expensive to manufacture. So don't worry too much about them. Ocon's tyres are pretty wrecked right now, and Leclerc is very much back in the game. But now with the DRS, we can just keep slingshotting ourselves past. Pit window is open. Let's see if we can get to the optimal lap. Sainz has boxed. So let's bring Ocon in this lap for his hards, and then we'll bring Alonso in the lap after. There's Ocon into the pit lane. 3.1 second stop, not great. But it comes out in P5, and there's they've fixed the bit where they drive into the wall as they leave the pit lane. Excellent. So we'll push and we'll also deploy, so we get a nice gap there. If you start doing that and get bankrupted, you know who to blame. Yes, you can blame me. But yeah, just they don't wear out as badly as you think. Should be fine. And the thing is as well, once you've got a certain level of performance, you should be able to get enough points, and then you can start moving your focus to next season. So it's okay. Charles Leclerc now takes the lead. As Alonso, why didn't Alonso pit? He's just decided unilaterally to stay out. So come in this lap, please, Fernando. Although he is holding up Leclerc, which is useful, because that means Ocon will have a better advantage over the Monegasque driver once he comes out of the pit lane. So let's see where Alonso drops back out. He should be in the pit lane. Here he comes. Out of battery there for Esti Besti.
It will be tricky out lap and then it will be fine.
Yeah, just do 1 or 2 upgrades and then use them for 3 or 4 races at a time. It's not too bad. It's really not as bad as it appears. So you'll be fine.
So increase pushing status.
Copy.
Okay, so Esteban is 16.5 seconds behind Charles Leclerc, who leads this race, but still has to stop again. Intrigued to see what he puts on. Let's deploy with Fernando. He's now 3 seconds behind his teammate. What's the lap times like? Well, we are much faster than the opposition. Ocon has just done a 38.9 compared to Leclerc's 40.2. So new tyres, very, very strong around this circuit. By Silverstone, AlphaTauri might be points every race. Well, it depends on which development path you take in terms of where the car excels. But yes, you should be looking at scoring points fairly regularly from there. But yeah, just make sure you specialise your parts and then balance them out from there. Alonso closing the gap to Ocon. And with AlphaTauri, as long as you've done enough to sort of not get sacked, you'll be fine. And then just focus on Season 2 and it'll be okay. You can just develop a nice platform for the car. And then because you get a bigger sort of pre-season, you can do all of that pre-season development and get the car ready for the first couple of races, maybe round 3 or 4, you'd be really flying. Hello to SHT. Yes, very early stream, and there's a reason for that. So my football club that I support, Chelsea, are playing a cup final today against Liverpool. And that kicks off at 3, and I thought, well, there's a chance it could either go to extra time and run late, and I thought, well, I've got to have dinner at some point, and I don't want it to be rushed. And cup finals are tense, mentally draining. Watching Chelsea is just taxing on my brain at the moment. And also it could go horribly wrong, because the last 2 cup finals against Liverpool have gone horribly wrong. They've gone all the way to penalties, and we've ended up on the wrong side of it. Callum, I believe you're yes, there you go. Callum's a Liverpool fan. He's hoping that the Reds get the job done. I'm hoping that they don't. But we're all hoping that the Reds on our screen, the Ferrari drivers, do get the job done. They've both just overtaken Yuki Tsunoda, so that's pretty good. We are closing down Leclerc, who's yet to stop So he can't be far away. What's his tyres saying? Is he taking those to the end? Surely he is not. He absolutely can't be taking those to the end. No, not doing 39s. He must be coming into the pit lane. Ocon now moves into P2. There you go. There's Leclerc into the pit lane onto a set of softs. So he's going to be rather rapido. He's just... Excuse me, game. He just crossed the white line. That is a penalty. Yes, you should upgrade the wind tunnel and the facilities because they give you more expertise gain when you go to upgrade parts. And if you refurbish them, they sort of keep them at those levels, so you always get the best possible parts. Yeah, that's something that I've run into this season with Mercedes. Once your facilities sort of degrade, then you get worse results essentially. Leclerc's career journey: Ferrari master plan to Red Bull master plan. Yes, he's just passed Daniel Ricciardo. So how far behind us is he? He's 10 seconds. I mean, he's going to be very fast. And we're on hards, older hards as well. But he's got some traffic to get through first. Tsunoda and Verstappen are battling away. It's not done and dusted with Leclerc. I mean, we could always let Ocon go and then maybe Alonso misses a braking point. Sorry, Charles fans. 36.7. That is some serious pace from Charles Leclerc. What's our tyre wear like? It's kind of where we were hoping it to be. I mean, honestly, this circuit just looks like a pig from this point, doesn't it? It looks like Spider Pig out of the Simpsons movie. They're just running along the belly now, the Ferrari drivers. Now they're getting to the front legs. There we go, round the hoof. Up to the snout. And now they're running all the way along its back to the tail. That's a tour of the pig circuit in Las Vegas, everybody. Tsunoda now pits and Leclerc 9 seconds almost adrift of our two boys leading this race. We'll just keep slingshotting each other with DRS at this point because it's doing the job. Leclerc is flying. What's his sectors like? Not personal bests at the moment. What's my prediction for Bahrain? My podium is Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton. That's my podium prediction. AlphaTauri are having a strong race here. George Russell started in 4th and Lando Norris is in P7. So, of course, I was looking at the championship standings earlier and thinking this was the final round. But it's not. And Lando could still move into the top 10 if he beats Kevin Magnussen in Abu Dhabi. We'll have a look at the breakdown of things before the final race, but we are looking now to look after our position in the lead. We'll get to lap 45 and see just how close Leclerc is. Hamilton's had a dreadful race. He's 12th. What's he doing there? What's happened to Lewis Hamilton in this race? Let's have a look. Tyre history. So he started on mediums. He went to hards. I think he just went backwards in that middle phase and is now trying to recover. Wow, Lewis is having he's having one of those days where he's just complaining and nothing's going right. SHT wants to see a close battle between Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes and Aston Martin this season. Surely you want to see Red Bull in that fight as well. Although we do think that they're a little bit ahead of everybody else. And ahead of everybody else is what Esteban Ocon is. So, Fernando, don't fight your teammate. We will see where the teams are in Bahrain. Yes, we will. It's, time to put up or shut up, isn't it? But there hasn't been too much sort of talk, really, from Ferrari, Mercedes, Aston, McLaren. They're keeping their cards close to their chest and just, they don't want to go out there and say, oh, we're going to challenge Red Bull, and then they don't, because that was kind of what they were all saying last year. Yeah, we're going to be there, we're going to really take it to them, and they dropped the ball. Red Bull, Callum doesn't like Red Bull. I don't like their drink. Doesn't taste very nice, not to me at least. I'm not a huge fan of their racing team. Specifically some of their personnel, really. That said, Adrian Newey is an absolute legend of Formula One and a genius designer. Now, is it Hannah Schmidt, the chief strategist at Red Bull? She is fantastic. I mean, some of the strategy calls she's made with Red Bull, it just, yeah, absolutely made some of their races. And she needs to make some good calls. Well, Charles Leclerc is hoping she's made a good call because he's still got 5.5 seconds to make up to catch us. We can actually push with our engines. Get rid of some of this fuel, which we are carrying weight. Let's deploy and see if we can just consolidate this victory. SHT is not a fan of Helmut Marko or Jos Verstappen. The irony of it all is when Jos was racing, I kind of liked him. I thought he was a bit of an underdog. I thought he was better than his opportunities made him out to look. However, things have since come to light, and it's safe to say that we can now question part of his personality as a result of rumours and stories that have been out in the media. Thoughts on Mercedes sandbagging? Classic Mercedes. That's what they do in testing. They don't go for headline lap times. They never have. They never will. Because they know that their car needs to be good on race day. I mean, they won championships against Ferrari in 17 and 18 because they had a car that was better in the race.
Okay.
Get Alonso to avoid the high-risk curb so he can cool his tyres down. Leclerc is not closing us down quickly enough anymore. So I think we're going to be safe. Jos wasn't that good of a driver, but I think he was better than his record suggests. He got a bit of a raw deal of things. He bounced around mid-grid and backmarker teams. But I think he accepted that there were things that he did wrong. Oh, we need to not run out of fuel with Ocon. That would be a good idea. Leclerc's still 4 seconds behind. As we approach the final lap. Here we go then. We'll just attack on the tyres with Esteban. Final lap. Esteban needs to conserve his fuel as well, actually. Mercedes, they're not awful in qualifying, but they're just, this car is unproven, literally unproven in qualifying. So we'll wait and see. They might be a little bit off the pace in quali trim, but you can overtake now. Obviously DRS and the way these cars follow is a bit better. So especially around Bahrain, 3 DRS zones, you should be able to get the move done if you're in a little bit of traffic. But no traffic problems for Esteban Ocon today. He's going to take a big step towards finishing 3rd in the Drivers' World Championship, because he is going to lead home another Ferrari victory. We're unbeaten since the summer break. And I think even the race before it in Spa we won, didn't we? Esteban Ocon takes his 4th win of this season in a Ferrari 1-2. Get in! Merci beaucoup.
Was a mega race.
Thank you very much.
Charles Leclerc finishes 3rd. Hamilton has not even recovered to the points.
Yeah.
Disaster
Guys,
for him.
well done to you guys.
But we can
Amazing job.
get that most famous and bombastic national anthem playing Esti Bestie was the bestie today. And he celebrates, deservedly so. Yes, we had Fernando back him up, but Fernando's season is done. It doesn't matter for him now. He's world champion. Ferrari have won the Constructors. It's just about getting Esteban into P3. Sorry, Charles. His wait for a win with Red Bull continues. Esteban takes his 4th W of the year. Great job. Okay. We didn't get fastest lap. That did go to Leclerc. We further extend our lead in the Constructors. 830 points. How many points did Red Bull get last year? Let's have a look. 2023 F1 Championship. There we go. The old Wikipedia. So Red Bull ended up with 860 points. So we could actually, in this save, we could outscore Red Bull's 160. Yeah, the helmets have all stayed the same because I've used the editor. It hasn't, and I think because I did it before the season started, the helmets haven't changed to be like the sort of basic colour scheme of the cars. So like a Ferrari helmet is just sort of a bit of red and black. So Alonso's has got Aston Martin written across the front. Ocon's has got Alpine, which is just hilarious. Right. I think, is that enough? 323, 349. My mental maths is not quick. That's not to say that I can't do it, but under pressure, I'm just struggling a bit. 323, 20, oh, it's exactly 26 points. So Ocon has secured P3 with that win. So that's job done in that respect, because even if Leclerc wins the race and does the fastest lap, he's 26 points behind. He'll lose out because of countback, because Ocon's got 4 wins. And Charles can at best have 1. So that's P3 secured for Ocon. Sergio Perez with the fastest laptop in... Not fastest laptop? Fastest pit stop. I felt like the word lap and pit stop amalgamated there and ended up as laptop, which wasn't the most crazy thing to come out with, but definitely wasn't right. Oh, the joys of being on a live stream and, you know, failing to word. Right, so we've hardly got through our list of predictions. So Monaco Grand Prix winner while we go to Bahrain. Everybody, put your Monaco winner in the chat now while I replace car parts. Do we want to sponsor Zach O'Sullivan? Well, we might as well. What am I planning to do for the next YouTube live stream after this season? So we're going to do McLaren with no upgrades until Austria. So the way that will work is we can still develop parts. We just can't put them on the car. So we're stuck with the initial spec of McLaren on this game until the Austrian Grand Prix. So that's like 8 rounds, 9 rounds. I might edit the calendar and remove Imola from it, because then that's more representative of what actually happened in real life. Because also we won't have a very good car by that point. So I might do that. Yeah, that's the next series that's coming up. Top Keys says Fernando winning in... Is that in Monaco, or are you just happy to see Fernando winning this championship? My pick for winning in Monaco this year in 2024, I think he'll do it. Charles Leclerc. I think he'll finally break the jinx around the streets and prove that he's the man when it comes to Monte Carlo. Let's get ourselves off to Abu Dhabi for the final round of this series. I mean, wow, what a journey it's been. And to everyone who's been part of the chat or left a comment, thank you. If you've subscribed as a result of watching this live stream series, I thoroughly appreciate it. It's just incredible. So yeah, Perez winning every street race this season. Watch it happen. I mean, he's not called the king of the streets for no reason. What are our power units looking like? Oh, they're fine. Just simulate qualifying. Yeah, Leclerc doesn't have a podium there in Monaco, but I think that's all about to change. Ferrari have just 90% set-upped? Just banged a 90% setup onto each car. Callum thinks he's winning the Monaco Grand Prix. I mean, it could happen. It could happen, Callum. Stranger things have happened. Esteban Ocon takes pole position for the final round of the season. Lewis Hamilton's got a grid penalty. Sargent Points calling it now. He's in the. Well, I say he's in the top 10. He's qualified 7th, but he's got a grid drop. Lando Norris not looking particularly strong. Sargent Points in Monaco. Hamilton could have COVID. Oh right, see, I was like, has he got COVID? Did he look unwell? No, it could happen. I see what you're in reference to there. Okay, so let's see. Reports. Is it going to let us have a look at the championship? We could probably just look at the championship standings before the start. Let's do that, maybe. Would that work? Abu Dhabi's weird with the tyres. And then we'll do that. There you go, that'll do. Strategy C for Fernando. Callum trying to be George in Sakir 2020. Absolutely. Wouldn't we all want to be George Russell in Sakir 2020? Just without the bad luck. McLaren double DNF in this race. Right, let's start the final race of the Randomised Grid Championship. Ferrari on pole with Esteban Ocon. What am I doing with Mercedes? Well, we'll get to the end of season 4 as the lights are out and the race is on. Leclerc slots in behind Ocon. Let's have a look at the championship as they go round the first lap. So who? Well, Ricciardo, Sargent, Norris could all get a top 10 finish in the championship if they can beat Kevin Magnussen. Surely Alex Albon's got to get a point. Where's he started in this race? 16th. I mean, it's probably unlikely then, isn't it? As Leclerc looks for a way through. Everyone driving middle or left. Leclerc doing what a Red Bull does when it's second in Abu Dhabi and sending it into the chicane. They're side by side. Do you know what we forgot to do is get them to attack and push and everything. 16th! Yeah! That's the meme. That's the meme. You know it. So, what's Ricciardo doing in third? What? Did I just not notice that at all? Ricciardo's up 2 places from the start. That's mad. He was 5th, I think, because of a couple of grid drops. Hamilton is down to 10th. Lando moving forward there into P12. Magnussen needs a result to hang on. Yeah, Ricciardo P3. What is going on? Let's just follow Danny Rick. No, Alonso, don't do it. Don't do it. No, no. No overtaking. He's not on softs either. We're going to manage Ricciardo's race here by just allowing Alonso to back everybody up. So yeah, the Mercedes journey we're going to finish season 4, and then I'm thinking we take a break. I've had an idea, so let me know what you think of this idea. So with the editor that I've got, with the database editor, I can make a team's. Oh, we've got a. Oh, Albon! We wanted him to get a point. Alex! Ah, Albano. Yeah, we need Alonso to hold up Verstappen. We're trying our best not to overtake Ricciardo. There you go. He's just don't overtake him. Make Sainz overtake Verstappen. I mean, we could just back everybody up. Although Ricciardo's doing that, and we're just deciding not to go past. So if we conserve our tyres. There we go. We should probably pay attention to what's happening at the front, because we do want to win the race. But getting a... if we can get Ricciardo onto the podium with a Haas, that would be incredible. That would be absolutely insane. Ocon will just sort of hang around there with Leclerc. We're going for the lead. We're taking the lead. Job done. We don't have DRS. We won't have the lead anymore. Yeah, Ocon and Leclerc. If you... There we go. We can do this. We can win. Oh, Alonso! No, Alonso! No. Why? Fernando, why have you done this? So I've turned Ocon's overtake aggression up to high, and whenever we do this, it tends to go wrong. But in this case, it might go right because it will take them out of the lead. No, Fernando, you need to bring Ricciardo with you. Always defend. We need to go slowly so that Ricciardo can stay third. Keep giving him DRS. That's now our aim, is to give Daniel Ricciardo a podium. This is great. This is what has this become? I mean, could Haas be more of a Ferrari B team right now? Remember when Ocon took out Verstappen in Silverstone? I do. Because the words had no sooner come out of my mouth than he smashed into his gearbox. And obviously we caused a red flag when we put Alonso and Ocon both to high overtake aggression in Imola. So many memories from this series. If I had if this was a full-blown, this was my job sort of thing, I'd have more time to edit a full story together. As Verstappen, no, Ricciardo's now 6th. It's the dream's over, lads. The dream's over. The dream's over. Okay, well, we'll just go back to trying to win the race. Fernando, be faster than everybody else, please. Although Ocon's doing a good job of being that. Leclerc's clown show in Belgium, yeah, he had a disaster. Hamilton, the curse of the Lewis Hamilton water bottle in Austria. If people aren't sure about any of these, many of them have been captured as shorts on the channel, so you can always go and check them out there. I do post them on Instagram and on TikTok. There's still hope, yes, but he's falling back. 3 unforced errors and a questionable strategy under the safety car. Yeah, that was Charles Leclerc's season completely in a nutshell. I mean, we want to win this race, but do we, you know, he's a Ferrari boy of old. Do we just let him have one? Maybe? What do you think? Or do we win like 11 races in a row? Verstappen is currently 3rd. Not sure I like that. Alonso needs to pick up his pace. Still a 30 flat last time around. Half a second slower. The softs are starting to wane, I think. Leclerc is the racing Harry Kane. Wherever he goes, it just doesn't turn to success. Absolutely. Ferrari dominates. Okay, we don't give Leclerc anything. Mission, let's take out Verstappen. Okay. For a minute there, I saw the Red Bull and was like, oh, great, he's there. No, he's not in a Red Bull anymore. He's in the Mercedes. As Ocon and Leclerc fight away. Ocon's still on high overtake aggression. We're going to put Alonso on high overtake aggression as well. YOLO. That's what we're saying today. Alonso's not catching Leclerc here, which I'm not a fan of. I'll be honest. But yes, as I was saying earlier, if I had more time around work or if this was my job sort of thing, which would be amazing, obviously, I would edit like the full story of this season together, but I simply don't have time because in between committing to getting 3 videos out a week, I just wouldn't have time to edit all of it together. It would take too long. By the time I got it done, it would be so out of date. It would be probably onto another live stream series by then. But yeah, if I had an editor, that would be like the dream. Would be amazing. We're so far behind Verstappen. This is... Alonso's basically given up. Callum's just got 7 points in Baku. Nice work with the AlphaTauri, which is, I think, the 9th best car when you pick up at the start of the season. And I was also telling you about the other opportunity for sort of a post-Mercedes series. So I can, with my editor, I can take a team's facilities down to like 0. We could basically start with one of the teams being completely rubbish. The candidate I've got is Haas. What I would love to have as well is a mod that changes Haas to something else, so we're not just, oh, it's Haas but we're doing it better. Although that would be pretty cool. But we could start with Haas and make their facilities rubbish and build like the entire team up. I mean, maybe what we could do is even like clear out all of the staff and do something like that and try and hire everybody. Because with the editor, I can get a bit funky. I can reduce all the facilities. I can boost the facilities. I can set a budget so we could give like massive investment to Haas. Just we can have no staff, no drivers, but we've got like £300 million in the budget. The car performance one is an interesting one because on the editor it only boosts it by percentage, so I have to work out how much percentage each car is better than the other, and I don't quite know that. As well, Alonso's doing his bit to help Ricciardo. Here he goes, slipstream past. Look, Hamilton has got past him. Oh, they almost banged wheels there. Get rid of all the drivers and staff, take all the factories out and give yourself 30 million for season 1. Now that's a challenge. I'd probably want a bit more than 30 million if we've got no staff and no drivers. Right, Ocon is falling back from Leclerc, who's on mediums. So those are still hanging up. What's the most number of DNFs you've seen in a single race in your F1 manager history? Oh, I think we saw like in, I think it's like 6 or 7. Like you don't tend to get like massive pile-ups where like 3, 4, 5 cars get wiped out, which I think would be really cool. They did talk up the first lap collisions happen more often, but I've not really seen it. Hello to Johan, welcome along my friend. Alonso needs some tyres. His tyres haven't done very well so far. Let's call him in actually this lap. Call him in a lap early. Yeah, we could sign the likes of Porsche and Hauger. Though, honestly, I mean, British bias coming out here, I'd probably sign Oliver Behrman. I'd probably also boost his stats a little bit. SHCs, you saw one race that had 10 DNFs. Was that on my channel? Or was that someone else? Alonso then. P13 after his stop. Ocon is heading for the pit lane now, and Leclerc staying out. Logan Sargent, after his grid drop, is only 18th, although that's improved to 17th just as we arrived. That couldn't have been better times. He's just stopped though, actually. That would explain it. Ocon pops out just behind Carlos Sainz. Oh, from someone else on Twitch. Whose channel is that? Because always good to see other people streaming and playing F1 Manager as we move into P5. Behrman and De Vries. Not sure I want Nick De Vries. What is my Drivers' Championship standings predictions? Well, we'll get onto that in a little bit because we've got another prediction to get through first. Who's the first new winner? Callum, you suggested Lando Norris. I'm going to go with Oscar Piastri. I just think there's an assurance about him that I'm not sure if I'm not saying this to discredit Lando, but I'm just not sure Lando, for some reason, whenever Lando's in the lead, he seems to get struck by the lightning bolt from Mario Kart. It's really weird. He just seems to get unlucky. Ocon, we weren't being aggressive on our tyres or deploying. We weren't really concentrating, to be honest. Hopefully, we can still beat Leclerc out, who's gone to a set of softs. So he'll be finishing on a set of hards. We will be ahead of the Red Bull by quite a bit, actually. Ricciardo with the fastest lap. The podium's back on, lads. Where is Ricciardo? He's P8, and he's actually ahead of Hamilton. He's on a set of softs, though, so that's not... Well, he could make some progress. Keep our eyes on Daniel Ricciardo, everybody. Let's see what he's up to. Oh, he hasn't streamed for a while. Fair enough. Verstappen actually leads. Shock. Who's having a good race at the moment other than Ricciardo? Well, George Russell is doing a great job. Lando Norris, his teammate, not so well. Ricciardo up to 7th, everybody. And he's about to get past George Russell too. Let's jump on board with the Honey Badger. He does have one of like the standard helmets because... Or does he? Is it a Red Bull one? Oh no, that might be a Red Bull one. I think it is. Can't see from here, but we're going to overtake George Russell from driver's eye. There we go. Daniel Ricciardo up to P5 in the Haas. Where would this put him in the championship? He still needs a bit more to beat Magnussen. But it's certainly possible that he could finish in the top 10. He's got to catch Carlos Sainz. Ocon at the front is closing the gap on Verstappen. Excuse me. We are closing it to less than 2.5 seconds now. The Dutchman is on old mediums. Who do I think is going to have the upper hand between Ricciardo and Tsunoda? I kind of think it will be Ricciardo. I kind of hope it will be Ricciardo because I think if Tsunoda was going to be Red Bull quality, he would have shown it by now. Like the shoots of it would have been there. I think he's a fast racing driver. I think there's rough edges that just They're taking time to smooth out, but he's also very young still, so time's on his side. So it's also do or die for Ricciardo. If he doesn't beat Tsunoda, his F1 career is dead, and he might as well go and do something else. And they should put Lawson or one of their many other Red Bull juniors in the car. Ricciardo, talking of, is now 4th. Ocon has now taken the lead. I think it will be close. Yeah, I agree with you, SHT. I think it will be close. But I think Ricciardo will just have that consistency, that maturity. He'll get, he'll get the job done a bit more. Ricciardo's back in 3rd. Verstappen pitted, and now Ricciardo's 3rd again. Alonso is 7th and doing like nothing. You're going for Yuki. Interesting. Why Yuki? Here comes Lewis, yeah. He's right on his tail. Nothing we can do about this, unfortunately, although softs versus hards. Lewis has had that story in Abu Dhabi before. Alonso's 8th. He's just doing nothing in this race. What is he doing? Except nothing. Like, can't see his... He's all of a sudden he just looks old now, doesn't he? Seems over the hill. Ocon is the coming man at Ferrari, dominating the race. He's got 5.5 seconds on Leclerc. Ricciardo and Hamilton having a ding dong. Lando most improved. I mean, improvement for Lando would be winning a race, wouldn't it? That's where he improves. This is one of Fernando's worst races ever, I think. He's now back up to P7. Right, we've got half of this race still to go. We'll just sort of sit here on ×4 for a bit. So, Constructors' Champions, everybody. Put them in the chat. Who wins the Constructors' Championship this year? I'm going to say... I'll start off by saying it's not going to be Red Bull. I think Perez will be hamstringing them a bit too much because I think the other teams are going to be close enough this season to snipe off enough podiums. The problem that we get out of jail free for Red Bull will be the podiums are shared between all of those chasing pack: Aston, Ferrari, McLaren and Mercedes, and they're spread like really wide across 8 drivers. Well, I say 8, I'm including Stroll in that, but there's enough opportunity there for them, and that might mean that Perez can sort of keep points ticking over enough to keep Red Bull safe. But I think Ferrari are going to be Constructors' Champions because they've got a fast car to start with, and they'll have Leclerc, who wants to show he is absolutely on top form when Hamilton arrives. Sainz wants to sell himself to all the other teams, and they just look in a good place at the moment, Ferrari. Mercedes have got a better platform to launch from, but how long is it going to take them to reach like their premium level? That's a big question. Daniel Ricciardo, update, he's now down to 5th, soon to be 6th as Gasly comes past. Talking of Perez, he's P7. Alonso still doing absolutely nothing. We'll just ignore him for now. So my prediction is Ferrari to win the Constructors' Championship. Talking of Constructors' Championship, are we going to score enough points to beat the... Why is it 700? It's not including sprint races, is it? No. That's a weird bug on this game. Anyway. Score prediction for today. I'm going to go 7-0 Liverpool because misery. I'm really optimistic about this one today as a Chelsea fan. Aston Martin might have a quick car beneath them. They could be close to that chasing pack. Doubts on Lance, putting them pre-5. Yeah. Lance Stroll is the sort of anomaly within that team. You've got a lot of good engineers. You've got people who've been around the sport for a while. You've got a world champion in the team. Lance is a mid-grid driver at best. I mean, if you put him in last season's Red Bull, he scores podiums. But would he have done a better job than Perez? Probably not. And Perez made a real meal of that. So, I'm sorry, but Lance just isn't worthy of a top seat. Yeah, the standings are inaccurate. It doesn't account for sprint races. So, yeah, Aston have got they're almost fighting with one arm tied behind their back. So, that's what they need to address. But all the time that Lawrence is there, Lance will be in the seat. And Fernando Alonso is now 9th. He's 10th. No, he's back up to 8th. Where had Sargent come from? He just arrived somewhere. I wasn't paying attention. Alonso's having an absolute nightmare of a race. Let's push with the fuel. What is going on? Alonso is just like sitting there having a big old cigar. His feet are up on that deck chair like it's a meme. He's on his holidays. Ocon's like, okay, fine, I'm going to go and dominate this race. And dominate it he is. George Russell is now overtaking Alonso. Everyone is taking a pot shot at the new world champion. SHJ wants to see Alonso fighting consistently for podiums against those guys all season. Yeah, I mean, he had his opportunity last year, but then Aston went kind of the wrong way with their development, which was a shame because it would have been great to see Alonso win a race. But they missed their opportunity in Monaco. Fernando, man, he's just going nowhere. So will Red Bull be beaten this season in the Constructors? Will they get toppled after 2 seasons at the top? I've gone for Ferrari. Is anyone joining me with Ferrari? Anyone saying anything different as Constructors champions? Hello to Brian Brunson in the chat. Perez does just enough for Red Bull to win for RB. Is that Red Bull or V-Carb RB? You got to. we can't just use RB as a abbreviation now. it's not safe. Everyone will get confused. Really hoping it's Ferrari though. Yeah, I mean, about time Ferrari won a championship. Yeah, Alonso does have a big decision to make. I mean, do you stick it with Aston Martin and hope that they get their act together, or if Mercedes have got a car that looks like it's raceable this year, you could jump in there. But Mercedes might be putting Antonelli in there. This is the big question. Do Mercedes want to do something bold, as Toto Wolff said, or do they want to put Alonso in? I think they should put Alonso in. Put him in on a 2-year deal. Put Antonelli in the Williams. And he's still so young. I know age is just a number. You know, if you're good enough, you're old enough. But these cars are so complex now. He's got to be given opportunity to learn somewhere. You can, unless Mercedes are just third best, you can't expect him to learn in a title fight. Not like Lewis Hamilton did. Even Verstappen had to spend a few years learning and crafting just off the back of the leaders a little bit. So, tough ask. A very tough ask. Yeah, Red Bull. I knew what you did mean, but it's just, we can't be so liberal with the use of RB because everyone's like, do you mean Red Bull? Or do you mean that other one that, you know, doesn't have a name? Yeah, I have a fear that Verstappen is still going to be absolutely unstoppable. As soon as, hopefully, Leclerc has got a car that he can work with during races, and maybe even Mercedes have got an opportunity too. But early doors, it's going to be quite likely that Verstappen runs away with a few races. Talking of running away with races, well, Leclerc is putting on fastest laps here, but he's boxed before us and gone to hards. Even if Ocon drops out behind him here, he'll come out with some pace. It'll always be Toro Rosso for Top Key, not V-Carb. I'm going to call them Minardi because Minardi were the team that team was when I started watching F1. And they were the underdog. They're the team that everybody wanted to see score a point. They did once, but they hardly ever scored a point. We've all seen, well, you should have all seen the Nürburgring European Grand Prix highlights of 1999. A race famously won by Johnny Herbert. And Luca Badoa, the bloke who started 50 races in F1 and didn't score a point and was just terrible when he stood in for Felipe Massa in the Ferrari. He was running 4th and the car broke down. Yes, Fernando Alonso did make his debut with Minardi back in 2001 alongside Alex Young and, who was the other chap? I feel like it was Tarso Marquez. Let me Google that. Bear with. 2001 not a Ford Fiesta, Formula One season. There we go. Who drove the Minardi? It was Tarso Marquez. There we go. My memory serves me correctly. Yeah, Minardi did get those famous 2 points with Mark Webber in Australia 2002. Here comes Ocon out of the pit lane as we reminisce of Minardi's past heroics. And he's clear of Leclerc by quite a comfortable margin there, actually. Alonso's still scrapping with Logan Sargent. Honestly, Alonso has just given up today. Get Esteban driving in clean air. Alonso's even had a pit stop issue. He's not even going to score a point. We needed 30 points to match Red Bull's tally. So we need Alonso to finish at least 7th. As Ocon has moved into P2 and is catching Verstappen, who's on hards that are going to the end. That'll be a non-contest. Remembering the history of Minardi drivers way back when, absolutely. Okay, Alonso, we're pushing with the tyres. We've got fuel to burn with Ocon, who's just taken the lead. Let's have a look at it. Very straightforward. DRS overtake, late on the brakes. Whoa, Max, did he try to take him out there? Zolst Baumgartner, what a blast from the past that is. Hungarian racing driver who did a few races for Minardi in the mid-2000s. Did he race for somebody else as well? Like a Jaguar or something. Can't remember now. Let's do the fastest lap with Ocon. We've got a personal best first sector. Only Hungarian driver to race in F1. When's the new series going to start after Merck? It will be probably the following Monday after that series concludes. So we've got tomorrow's video, which is round 16, then Wednesdays will be round 17, 18 will be on Friday, so a couple of weeks' time. And Ocon gets the fastest lap. Lovely stuff. There we go. Alonso is just going nowhere. Will he even get into the points? He's been so slow. Patrick Friesacker. Wasn't he Austrian? If I remember rightly. Alonso, he's still on always defend. When is the next Monaco series video? Not sure yet. I still need to work out what I'm doing with that series, mate, because we need to. Well, I need to decide whether to start it again or to self-impose restrictions. I'm probably going to self-impose restrictions.
Just a reminder on garage.
But we will get back to it. We will get back to it. I promise. He was Austrian. My memory banks do not let me down when it comes to random Formula One drivers of the mid-2000s. Ocon absolutely smashing it out front. 9 seconds in the lead. Leclerc has just had no answer. Couldn't even get ahead of us with the undercut. Fernando, though, we do need him to do a bit better. What a way to finish the season for Alonso. Just with an absolute non-start of a race to finish off the season. Unbelievable. What's Ricciardo doing? He is 6th, which I suppose is still a good effort from him. We'll have a look at the Robert Dornbos. He was Dutch, wasn't he? Was he the first? No, he wasn't. Of course, he wasn't the first Dutch driver. Jos Verstappen was before him, and was there a couple of others beforehand? Alonso is closing in on Russell to bump him out of the points. Or not. There we go. Alonso into the points. That's 27 points now for us. Still need a few more, but he's got 2 seconds to make up 2 signs. Let's just attack on the tyres. To hell with them. They're not needed after this race. Logan Sargent, 7th for Aston Martin. Ocon is coming around to start the final lap of the season. He's going to, as long as he doesn't do a Monza, which is another memorable moment of this series, where he just locked up at Ascari when he was set to win. He handed the win to Alonso. But I mean, he's 16 seconds clear. He should be fine. Fernando, mate, you've had an absolute mare in this race. Yeah, he did do something at the Dutch Grand Prix, didn't he? Oh, Dornbos. Did he do a race for Red Bull as well? Can't remember, but it doesn't matter. Esteban Ocon makes it back-to-back wins and rounds off the randomised grid season with a victory. Fantastic stuff. Ferrari unbeaten in the final half of the season. Although Fernando Alonso has kind of limped home with this championship. He just crosses the line now. How far behind Ocon was he? Over a minute. Yes, he did a few races in place of clean, didn't he? But that's the season done and dusted. There's a little face peeking through the door. I think she needs to come in. Hang on, everybody. I can find my microphone. There we go. Champagne being sprayed. Want to see the driver lineups in for next season? Actually, that's a great way to finish things off. Why does this guy look like Gabby Agbonlahor, the footballer? Same sort of facial complexion. Okay, Esteban Ocon wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo finishes 6th. Sadly, we couldn't get him that podium. Logan Sargent moves up 12 places to finish 7th. That is insane. Drivers' Championship, 483 points for Fernando Alonso. He wins it by, what's that, 95 points? Almost 100 points. 91 points, I think that is. Who was that? That was my wife, Thomas. That was my wife. Charles looked depressed of second places. Yes, no wins for Charles this season. Seven pole positions for Charles Leclerc and a Red Bull. No wins. Just Charles Leclerc things, isn't it? Just feel so sorry for the guy. Just bless him. Bless him. At least we've got the Monaco series where we can just do endless winning with him. So it's fine. Perez from last to P8 in the McLaren. Yeah, that's a good result for him. So final championship standings. Verstappen P5. Yuki Tsunoda P6. He beats Pierre Gasly in the Mercedes, actually. That's impressive from Yuki. Sainz 8th. George Russell gets top 10. So does Logan Sargent. Bumps out Magnussen. Ricciardo. That's a decent effort in the Haas. Lando 13th. Beaten by George Russell. Same machinery. George gets the job done. They're actually the same rating. So there you go. Confirmed. George is better than Lando, according to the game. Perez, somehow 13 points for McLaren. None for Albon. Sainz and Tsunoda certainly did carry. So we're 2 points short of Red Bull's total in 2023. 17 wins for Ferrari this season. Although doesn't look like it's including the sprints. That's weird. Let me add these up. So 483 plus 375 is 858. No, it is including them. That's fine. Okay, so Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, Aston Martin, Alpine got P5 quite comfortably. AlphaTauri 6th in the championship. Haas, Williams have beaten McLaren. McLaren were dreadful this season. Audi, Sauber scored no points because they had Zhou and a Piastri who isn't very good at the start of the game. So that will be different in 2024's version because everyone's seen how good Oscar Piastri is. So did we win the pit stop award? No. Thoroughly mid-table on that. Mercedes P4, that's not realistic. Well, what a season. Thank you to everybody who's joined me for a live stream on this save. This has been an incredible journey. We have reached the end of the season. We've got a lovely, healthy bank balance of $99 million. We've not done anything with the car. We'll save here. We'll overwrite it. There we go. Now, there was a request to see the driver lineups for next season. So I think what we'll do is we'll finish on that. And we'll see no research projects. It's been a while since we've done any car part research. We haven't done any, Enrico. And all the staff are going to be out of contract because it doesn't matter. Oh, we've got a message from Christian Horner. We've got a message from Christian Horner. Oh, is he? Do we want to read this? Considering. Oh, he wants to offer his congratulations. I think you're being very sincere there, Christian. You blew us out of the water a little bit this season. I can't deny that. I can call it a lucky break, though. Wow, sour grapes. Let's see if you repeat that luck again next time. Well, there won't be a next time, Christian, because this is the end of the universe. Like, an asteroid hits the Earth after we do something. Right, driver changes. They're secured until 2024. Cost cap limit. We're only $1 million away from breaking it. Wow. Driver development. Right. Let's get over to the start of season 2, where we can see who's finished where. Callum. Yeah, you scored 5 in the sprint, so it doesn't actually show the sprint standings for some reason. It's weird. More. No, we don't want to do that. Break it. You want to see what happens. I think it just. You can't add anything else to the car. Wadsworth Frost. What a name. Wadsworth. Honestly, whose idea was it to name a bloke Wadsworth? That's like Alonso's improved his overall rating. We just want to see the driver market go nuts. Though, because we don't have any staff, I'm wondering if it's going to let us continue. High confidence, that's fine. Alonso is the Drivers' World Champion. It's confirmed. Ocon P3, good effort from him. Ferrari Constructors Champions. We're awesome. Amazing stuff. Regulation changes for Season 2. Load of changes, but... Oh, yeah, it won't let us move on because no race engineers. Okay, well, hang on. He's not interested in renewing contract. Okay. We're going to have to sign some engineers. Tell you what, we'll leave it here. I'll fix this. And then I'll make like a little short video out of it for you. And we'll see what happens next. There's like a little sequel to both this and the driver transfer ones that we've done previously. So we'll end the stream there, I think. A shame that that was blocked in the end, but it was good fun while it lasted. That was a fantastic live stream series. A little milestone for me, actually. This the first series that's come to an end on this channel. I mean, we're still in progress with Mercedes, and that's in Season 4. I'm just mind blown about how well that's doing. That's gone above and beyond expectations. So thank you very much to everybody who's been part of the chat today or beforehand in another stream. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Have a lovely Sunday. Hopefully Chelsea get the job done. Sorry, Callum, I have to say that. But yeah, thank you to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. You're the best fans. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.